So Sean and I both had office areas, and we figured out that those office areas probably encompassed 240 square feet at least. This space is about 24 square foot, and we had to be very creative here. And at first, when this picture was taken, the office area kind of extended into the bathroom, and so a lot of the office supplies were in the downstairs bathroom, and obviously that doesn't work. We wanted to put our desk in here, but the screws underneath this dining room table had got stripped out, and even though I ordered the tools to try and remove those strip screws, so far I'm not having any luck. So this is kind of what we're left with. Here, we'll show you. This is the offending thing. So it is what it is, and we need the essentials. So here's how we ended up organizing it to fit in that 24 square foot. So you have the dining room table. On the dining room table you have the computer. We tried the computer, but the printer behind that didn't work. So we had two of these little 3-drawer plastic things on the left. Bottom drawer is empty. Art supplies, paper and ink supplies, cords and fasteners, glue, all that good stuff. A shred box for mail that comes in. Work supplies for me. The printer. And then on the other side we have textbooks and the bill box. And the bill box just got all the different bills organized in it. So right now we've been able to get everything out of that downstairs bathroom into here except the paper supplies for the printer. Yes, I know they could go in that empty drawer, but I know there's something else that I'm going to need to put in there. And right now they're fine in the downstairs bathroom. They're not taking up too much space. They're taking up half of a shelf, and they're nice and flat, and everything's contained in there. So I think we're going to leave them in there, and at least for right now, see how that works long term. So the kitchen was probably the most daunting task for me. I love to cook. I love to experiment with food. I have a lot of gadgets, and my previous kitchen was probably close to, again, 240 square feet. And now we're in a much smaller space. In fact, my previous kitchen, when I painted all the cabinets, had 41 doors and drawers. So I went from a space that was that big to this really small space, and I was really concerned that, one, I wasn't going to be able to cook, and that, two, it was going to be way too cramped and crowded. I was going to have to drag everything out of every cupboard every time I wanted to get anything, and that had been one of my big concerns about moving into such a small space. So here's the breakdown. Knives. I had a whole block of knives, every knife you can imagine. Now I have two. I have like a small paring knife, and I have a large knife for cutting up much bigger things. When it comes to plates and cups, went from we could feed an army, probably Buckingham Palace, to we have 6. We have 3 for us because only 3 of us, and we have 3 if anyone comes over. We still have too many mugs, but that's okay. Glasses, yes, we had a bar in the other house, so we had glasses for everything. Now we have just a couple, and we ended up getting these plastic beakers that we can take to the pool. Mixing bowls. Learn to mix and match. So the stuff we have now, we have, like I'm using some of my big measuring cups as mixing bowls. We only need 1 colander, we only need 1 sieve. And then the big thing was kitchen versus belly of the beast. We had a lot of these appliances. We don't need an awful lot. I don't believe in an awful lot of unitaskers. So a lot of this stuff actually went in the belly of the beast. That's the storage underneath the RV. And basically, we all had room in the belly of the beast for a couple of totes of our things. I chose to use one of those to be kitchen appliances that I might need, so that my kitchen wasn't overwhelmed and wasn't too crowded, and that's worked really well. And honestly, probably some of those are going to go to storage because I've found that I'm just not using them. Things we choose to keep in the kitchen: my electric kettle for my tea. We have the Keurig for Sean, that I use more than often than not. We have a blender. We have the electric pressure cooker, which is an absolute must, toaster, and a hand mixer. That's it. These are pan lid separators from Dollar Tree. They're $1.25 each, and I bought about 4 of them to put in the freezer. The freezer is a drawer freezer, and it's got 2 layers. This way you can drop your bags of vegetables or other things in there. Everything stays upright, nothing gets lost at the bottom, and you know exactly what you have. Everything fits really well in there and keeps everything very organized and visible. This is where a lot of the issues got real. We were actually going down about 80%. We have about 20% of the drawer space and the wardrobe space that we had at the house. And I will tell you, the fact that Sean's stuff is in one 8x8 by 2 foot drawer as opposed to like 2 massive drawers is huge. So this is how we organized the drawers. All Sean's underwear, socks. He did not need the pile of socks. We're obviously not minimalists, and when all the laundry's done, we do have about 2 weeks worth of underwear to hold us over. I know I have way too many bras. I do know that. And my winter socks are not in here, so when it comes to winter, we'll change out for some winter socks for me. And then my swimsuits are at one side, my workout gear is the other. It just gets rolled, the pants get rolled, the shirts get rolled, and it fits beautifully in this drawer. Then we're going to go to the wardrobe. So, here's our first wardrobe. This is my side of the wardrobe, and fortunately I have that little drop down bar that we found. I don't forget where we even found it, but it worked beautifully in here, so I can put my shirts on the bottom and I can put my hanging pants on the top. I have about 8 pair of shoes. Everything else is in storage. On Sean's side, his stuff is too long, so the drop down bar didn't work. So, and these little, at the very back, you'll see these little shelves. They're really not the right size for anything, but we found these little blue totes. We could fold his good shirts up and his swim shirts and put them in there. And then when you pull everything back, you'll notice underneath we have that laundry hamper that is not dirty laundry. We turned it on its side and we rolled all his shorts up, kind of like we had mine in the drawer, and then put his jeans on top, and his shoes can go in there as well. So that's not all our stuff, obviously. We also had to take a couple of the little cupboards in the bedroom, and fortunately we don't have a lot of knickknacks, so we were able to repurpose one of them and just basically stack our stuff up. So I've got the bottom, Sean's got the top. Sean has just his t-shirts and his long sleeve shirts up there. I have pants that are foldable and can stay in there without getting wrinkled, and then t-shirts on the other side. If you think our t-shirts look relatively neat, that's because we use the Sheldon clothes folder. Actually, I don't know what brand this is, but if you look up on Amazon Sheldon clothes folder from Big Bang Theory, you'll see this. And then we have Little Sean's area. So he's here every other weekend, and we needed to find some room for him to have his stuff. It was under the couch at first. That made absolutely no sense. It fit perfectly under there. However, Anytime he wanted to get something out, we would have to pull everything out, and that just didn't make any sense at all. So what we decided to do was to use the little cupboard above the couch, and we put these 3 green totes in there. One of them has his pants nicely folded and his shorts rolled on it. One of them has his shirts nicely folded on one side, and then his golf shirts folded on the other side. And again, we use the Sheldon, I don't know what brand that is, but we use the Sheldon type clothes folders so that they're all uniform. And then on the other side we have all his underoos and unmentionables, and his swim shorts and swim shirts, and that works perfectly. We're not having to pull the couch out constantly. So stop. Oh my goodness, all of a sudden it hit me that this whole video on organization and the closet organization wasn't going to work because I still had 2 bags of laundry to do. The drawers were full, the closet was full. Where is it going to go? And that's when it hit me that in a small space, you have to do the rule of 75%. That just means leave yourself 25% space. That way you have room to put things away. When you do the laundry, you have room to put all the shirts, and you're not then tempted to just stick something on top of a counter or put something in a junk drawer. You are inspired to put it away because you have room to put it away. Welcome to Joe's Joy-O-Meter, and if any part of this video brought you joy, please like, subscribe, and feel free to comment. So what made my Joy-O-Meter go nuts this week? So I got some of this right, and there were some areas that are really organized and really have great potential. They follow the 75% rule, and honestly, it brought me joy that I didn't really get too upset when I realized that I messed up part of it. That didn't upset me too bad. I have had the Sheldon clothes folder for a long time now, and I love it. I love the symmetry, I love the organization it gives me, and I love to cook. So it wasn't the fact that I have to get rid of things. I don't mind that so much anymore. The fact that I could actually cook quite functionally in this small space and with this small amount of storage was really pleasing.